It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the John. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Let's Watch Roma TV, and we're back for another Baddies Midwest review, episode 18, the episode we've all been waiting for. So let's get into it. So the episode starts off with the baddies outside the baddie house by the bonfire. So we have Nunu, Pretty P, Big Lex, and Dolly. And Dolly's just so grumpy. She's just in a bad mood because she got her nose broken again by Pretty P. So she doesn't want to talk to anybody. She's just sitting there pouting in a sour mood. And she's so happy that Slim is gone. But it's like, girl, Slim wasn't even paying any attention to you. And her nose is still intact, unlike yours. So then Natalie shows up with Jasmine, Renee, and Summer, and she lets the baddies know that they're going to have a house meeting where she's going to bring a special guest, and from there, they're going to head to the club. And the baddies, they already know what time it is when they hear house meeting. They already know it's going to be some drama, some BS. So the baddies go get ready, and then they come back to the fire pit for the house meeting. And they're all just pretty much catching up with what happened earlier that day with Natalie and the other OGs going to the radio station, Nunu fighting Biggie, and then Pretty P breaking Bad Dolly's nose again. And some of the baddies were mad at her. They were like, oh, why did you do that? Why did you break her nose? Like people like Jaden. And I'm just like, they're fighting. Like shit happens in a fight. Like obviously she didn't do it on purpose. So when Pretty P explains the full story now, Natalie's like, oh, so you've been telling her what we've been saying about her? And Anna's like, oh, no. She's been telling her what those two have been saying about her. Those two meaning Summer and Dolly. Anna let it be known that we don't talk about that girl. They talk about that girl. So don't include us in that. So then Dolly comes out and she trying to act like she want to run a fade with Pretty P. And I'm like, girl, don't you learn your lesson? Like you have this big ass cast on your arm. Your nose is fractured and you want to run another fade? Even Natalie with her loud ass voice, she's like, you only have one hand. Oh, her voice is so annoying. Then you got Summer and Scotty. They're like holding her back. They're like, no, you're not fighting. And Pretty P's like, girl, I'm not running no more fades with you. I'm done. You still got fades to run with Tasiki and Tink. So run your fades with them. And Tasiki with her lazy, drunk ass. She's like, oh no, don't put me in it. She want to fight you with one hand. That's y'all shit. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Tasiki, no, like you need to tap in, Tasiki. You need to tap in because you've been on autopilot this whole season. Like you didn't do shit. You just been sitting back collecting a check for free. Like no, to work in, Tasiki. Get to work in. So then Dolly's like, yeah, don't worry, Siki. When my hand heal, we gonna run it. But you, Pretty P, you right now. And I'm like, you want to run it with Pretty P now? But you gotta wait to heal to fight Tasiki? Like, girl, you're a special kind of slow. You really are. Slow is not even the word. So then they're talking about the situation with Slim, and Nunu's like, I didn't even see Slim leave. Like, Slim came here and popped all that shit just to let Rollie kick her out. And I'm like, well, the girl was getting bullied nonstop. Like, what else was she supposed to do? I would have left too if I was her. And then Jayla with her two-faced, speech-having ass want to say, oh, Rollie gave her a chance to redeem herself and she did not rise to the occasion. So good riddance. And I'm just like, why didn't you have all this? Why didn't you say all of this to Slim's face when she was here? Instead, you guys, you and Natalie give her this bullshit so-called motivational speech telling her, oh, you're still a baddie and we all welcomed you with open arms and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what? Why didn't you say all this shit to Slim's face? Y'all are so two-faced. Ugh. And y'all wonder why I don't like Jayla? So then Akbar gets in her confessionals and she's like, oh, I'm tired of all this fighting. This will never be a sisterhood. And I'm just like, girl, you're on the wrong show. This is Baddies. This is Fight Club. This is Bullies Are Us. You want a sisterhood? You are on the wrong show, okay? So then Jaden asks where Ivory is because she got a crush on her. And I'm like, oh, let me find out Jaden and Ivory are bumping coochies. But yeah, I want to know too because I miss Ivory. But then Natalie says that Ivory hasn't been there because she had court and that she'll be back tomorrow, the next day. And also that they'll be getting rid of another girl tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, that's cap. Because we saw a clip from the episode after and all the girls are there. So she's not sending home anybody. It's all cap. So something stood out to me in this episode. Jayla and Summer had a little back and forth. And Jayla called Summer a dirty pussy hoe. And I was like, oh. And the reason that stuck out to me was Ivory went on IG a while ago and said how Summer's pussy stink. It stunk up the whole bathroom. Biggie went to go use the bathroom after Summer and the whole bathroom smelled like fish. She was so mad. And I'm like, Summer, you can't be walking around here with a bad fish between your legs, girl. Even Scotty was like, Scotty made a comment. She's like, what? Summer got to keep her mouth closed. And Summer's like, and this pussy open. And Scotty's like, ew, she's not coming on the trip. Summer, you cannot be walking around that place with a bad fish, girl. Hygiene. Hygiene is very important. Y'all gotta wash that cootie cat and keep it clean. So then Natalie asked a question. She's like, everybody who likes Summer, put up their hand. And literally only 3 people, including Natalie, put up their hand. Summer is a problem. I don't even think Dolly put up her hand, but she was just in a sour mood, so who cares? So then Natalie asked Jasmine Renee why she doesn't like Summer. What's her issue with Summer? As if she's the only person there who has an issue with Summer or didn't put up their hand. And I'm just like, y'all already know what the issue is between these two. Like, come on. Summer gagged me when she called Jasmine Miss Potato Head, though. OMG. Now I can't unsee it. But I mean, she still looked more like Shakana than anything else. In my opinion, at least. So then Natalie finally lets the baddies know that the special guest is Tommie. And some of the baddies are a little worried. We have Tasiki. Tasiki finally said more than one sentence in an episode. She's like, oh, we just got to be careful because, when like Tommie comes around, there's like some drama, there's issues and stuff. So if we can just like, get the issues handled before we go out to the club, whatever, that would be nice. And then Rollie always calling this girl Crackosaurus. I don't know what. Oh, Tommie's never beaten those DRUG allegations. Oh, it's crazy. So yeah, then Akbar gets up like she gonna do something. And she's just talking about, oh, yeah, I'm not ducking no fades. If she comes here, we can talk like grown women. But if not, I'm with whatever. And I'm like, Akbar, you know damn well you're not going to fight Tommie. Like, just stop it. Like, you're all Christian now. You're holy. You're God's child. You're not fighting Tommie. You don't want to fight. Okay? So just cut it out. Then Tinka now starts talking about how she got smoked with Tommie from the Baddies Caribbean reunion. And I'm like, what? And basically they're showing like a flashback of when Tommie was talking to Meatball and she was trying to calm her down and basically just telling Meatball like, don't crash out over no bitch, referring to Tinka. But that's really all she said, It wasn't to like diss Tinka, but it was just like to tell Meatball like, You don't need to be like crashing out and looking crazy over nobody. It wasn't a direct insult to Tinka, you know, specifically. Tommie doesn't even know Tinka, so whatever. But Tinka, you know, this season she wanna just pick a fight with anybody for anything. So hey, whatever gets you more camera time, girl. Whatever gets you more camera time, do your thing, pop your shit. She even brought up the situation that she and Akbar had at the rage room, and they were going back and forth for a little bit. And she's basically telling Akbar, like, yeah, you was talking to me crazy, talking to me like you were my mom and everything. And Akbar's like, no, I wasn't talking to you crazy. And they showed the flashback, and she really wasn't. Like, Akbar was basically just trying to tell Tink, like, you know, let's wrap it up. We don't need to be doing all of that here. Because, you know, Tinka was just going off on everybody in the rage room. Like, Tinka had rage in the rage room. She was just going off on anybody for anything. And, you know, like, Akbar wasn't trying to start no problems with her or be disrespectful to her or anything like that. But again, like I said, Tinka is being extra. This whole season, she's been extra. So then Rollie explains that her issue with Tommie is, again, from the Baddies Caribbean reunion. And she's like, I hope Tommie doesn't come here running her mouth, because that's what got her popped at the reunion. And I'm like, Rollie, first of all, you did not pop Tommie. All you did was pull off her wig. I don't even think you got one punch in. And number two, Tommie was not running her mouth at you at the reunion. She was staring at you, and then you got up and started running your mouth like you always do. I swear, these girls just be making up shit in their head just so they can have an excuse to fight on the show. So then Rollie tries to check Natalie, and I thought it was so stupid, because she's basically telling Natalie, like, oh, you know, I know you're the EP, but you gotta, like, tap in too. You can't have these bitches just talking shit about you, and when you see them in person, you're like, oh, all happy and hugging them and copping please and being all nice to them and stuff. Like, you know, you gotta tap in too. We can't always be doing the dirty work and fighting these bitches. You need to get in the paint too, even though you're the EP. And I'm like, well, Natalie said, you know, I fought Tommie multiple times. How many more times do you need me to fight her? You know? And I agree with Natalie, because she has fought Tommie multiple times. Like, we're at the point where we're tired of seeing them fight. Like, it's, you know, like, look, they're cool now. They're getting money together. Fine. That, like, leave it at that. You know, we don't need to see them beef and beef and beef. Like, it gets old, you know, after a while. It just gets old. So then Scotty chimes in. The same person who's always telling Summer to mind her business always seems to be putting herself in the other OG's business. So she's telling Rollie, while Rollie's talking to Natalie, she's like, yeah, they don't need to keep fighting. They don't need to keep fighting over and over again. And Rollie's like, Scotty, shut up, because you don't even fight. Like, you don't do shit. Like, you're just there. And listen, when Rollie was clocking Scotty's tea, girl, I was here for it, because it's about time somebody say it. The fans always say it, the viewers always say it, but I'm so happy another OG on the show clocked it in front of her face. Like, and she's like, well, I'm not a fighter. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not a fighter. Doesn't matter. This is Baddies, boo. Everybody got to get in the paint at some point. That's why I was happy that Emma was there. But then she just, you know, she just got too quiet after a while. But I was happy that there was someone there to press Scotty. So then we see Queen Mugshot herself pull up to the baddie house. And then Natalie decides to get on Biggie's case. Talking about, oh, Biggie, you said, I hope you and Akbar are ready for when Tommie gets here. And Biggie's like, yeah, I said that to you 3 weeks ago. And Natalie's like, yeah, so, yeah, but you said it. You said it. And I'm like, Natalie, she's not denying that she said it. So, but Natalie just kept repeating it like over and over again. She said, when Tommie gets here. And I'm like, she's just going off like, she said, when Tommie gets here. And I'm like, Natalie, you should not scream. You should not raise your voice because, girl, you like Natalie's voice. I used to say that Natalie has a raspy voice, but no, it's beyond that. Natalie has like a old lady's smoker's voice. An old lady smoker's voice. That's exactly how Natalie sounds, especially when she yells. She should not yell. She sounds terrible. Her voice is so annoying. OMG. All them baddie blunts and vapes. See what it does to you guys? Giving you zombie voice. And this may be a little off topic, but guys, get you a friend like Anna. Because one thing about Anna, she gonna stand by Biggie's side. She always has Biggie's back. I love that. Oh, and shout out to Biggie for clocking Natalie's tea when she was in her confessionals. She's like, she knows she can't go off on Rollie because Rollie will whoop that ass. So now she's trying to go off on me. Child, I was here for it. Natalie got mouth for everybody except Rollie, okay? Ever since Rollie blacked that eye at Baddies South reunion, she know how to talk to Rollie, okay? So then Tommie comes in, says hi to everybody. Everybody says hi to her. She has gifts for the baddies, weed and whatnot. Everybody's all smiles, hugs, and kisses. And then Akbar, her and Tommie say hi, and then they start their conversation. Akbar had the audacity to take her shoes off as if she was going to do something to Tommie. Girl, if you don't just go there and smoke this weed that this girl done brought for all the baddies. And I don't even know why Tommie brought weed. Like, these bitches always have weed. She should have brought them food, if anything. Like, all they have at that house is chips and liquor. So yeah, Tommie and Akbar, they have their argument. It went on for like, I don't know, about 15 minutes or so. And it was so weak and pointless. They're just basically talking about how the last time they saw each other, it was at a studio. And they had this little 2-second fight. And apparently Tommie was on the floor. But Tommie was like, what floor? Like, you never had me on no floor. You're delusional. And then Rollie chimes in and she starts talking about Baddies Caribbean reunion. And she's like, oh, yeah, last time we saw you, you were getting carried out with your wig off. And Tommie's like, yeah, that was a sucker move and blah, blah, blah. And Akbar started praying at one point. And Jayla and Natalie are just laughing hysterically. And I'm like, oh, boy, this is like such a snooze fest. Everybody, like all the other baddies, they were just waiting for one of them to throw a punch. At one point, Rollie said the conversation is so boring. Everybody's starting their own conversations, which was true. Like, I'm like, girl, clock it. Like, oh, and Biggie had this llama in her confessionals. It was supposed to be Akbar. Ever since Biggie said that Akbar looks like a llama, I can't unsee it. OMG. Especially the way her eyes are so close together like that. And her nose is crooked. Oh my gosh. Biggie. So anyway, Akbar was saying a whole lot of nothing. Their conversation didn't go nowhere and it ended. Akbar and Tommie were about to walk off the scene. And Tink is like, no, it's not cool. Y'all need to fight or else I want to fight. And Tommie was like, oh, okay. So then she pulls out her pew-pew and goes, pew-pew. Right at the baddies. And one of the pew-pews hit Tink and the other one hit Rollie. And I think, it was well-deserved because Rollie was talking that shit and Tink just wanted to start shit for no reason. Like, girl, you don't know Tommie. She even said it. Like, she's like, girl, I don't even know you. So, I mean, hey, if the pew-pew had to hit someone, it hit the two righteous people. Sorry to say. Because y'all wanted all the smoke with Tommie, especially you, Tink. And honestly, I can believe that Rollie got powed, but I don't believe that Tink did, because if you look closely, Tink First of all, there was someone laughing in the background. The voice sounded like Tink's voice. And when you look at the flashback, like when they because they kept replaying it. I think they replayed it like 5 times, you know, when Tommie, you know, fired the BB. They replayed it like almost 5 times. And if you look at Tink, she looks like she's laughing, you know, or at least smirking. Like, she does not look like she got hit. Rollie looked like she got hit. She was running. Rollie looked genuinely scared. But Tink, she does not look like she got hit, first of all, in her arm. And that laugh sound like hers. It didn't sound like any other baddies. Somebody was laughing. Okay? And her face, she looked like she was laughing too, or at least trying not to laugh. So I don't know. I don't know if this whole thing was planned. I don't know if this whole plot was planned by Zeus, because I mean, how is it you guys made sure to check Sarah's bag when she came on Baddies South, but you wouldn't check Tommie? And you know Tommie always has tricks up her sleeve. Y'all know Tommie's crazy. Y'all know how she is. You guys wouldn't think to check Tommie before letting her in the baddie house, but you check Sarah's purse? Interesting. A part of me thinks that was planned, and some of the baddies might have been in on it. So yeah, Rollie and Tink, they're just running around the place full of rage, trying to get a hold of Tommie so they could beat her ass. And Tink actually, she got a hold of Tommie. She got a hold of Tommie, gave her one hit, and then Tommie got that ass. Okay? So yeah, Tommie's quick, man. Like, they be calling Tommie all kind of sea head and drunk and, you know, Crackosaurus and whatnot. But one thing with Tommie, when it comes to fights, she's quick. She moves quick. She got fast reflexes. So yeah, that didn't go well in your favor, Tink. That didn't go as you planned it to go. But oh well, you get an A for effort. At least you know, you managed to snatch your wig off, so, you know, kudos to you for that. But Tommie yanked your wig off too, so yeah, y'all are even. But yeah, oh my gosh, Tink and her antics. OMG, she kills me with her antics. And she pointed out that Akbar ran. As soon as that pew pew went off, Akbar ran faster than Usain Bolt. And the funny thing was, Akbar was behind Tommie. So she wasn't even in front of her to get, you know, pow. You know, she was behind her. So I really don't know why she ran. She ran faster than there were some baddies that just sat and didn't move at all. Like Pretty P, Summer, Dolly, I think too. Like, they didn't even move a muscle, you know. And Pretty P said that she got powed twice in her life, and she didn't move, and they were in front of Tommie. So yeah, Akbar, that all that gangsta Queen of Atlanta shit you be popping, you need to wrap it up, girl, because you ran. So yeah, all the baddies are still there by the fire pit. They're all just still in shock about what happened. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to think. They're just all in shock. Natalie and Jayla actually fell off their chairs, and apparently Natalie hit her head. Tink and Rollie are just running around the place in rage. They are so furious that they can't get to Tommie and beat her ass. And Rollie gets so frustrated to the point where she just picks up a chair and just throws it. And the chair hits Nunu, poor thing. So yeah, that's basically where the episode ends. This was a crazy episode. But, you know, this is the episode we've all been waiting for. We've all been waiting to see Tommie, and we got her. And yeah, it was something else. So let me know how you feel in the comments below about this episode. I look forward to reading them, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Baby, go.